Um, good morning, the grade 12s. Welcome to my class in. We are on financial mathematics, and I hope we will be able to help others that are out there and are struggling. Okay, here I've got question number 6. This question was brought forward by a grade 12 learner who requested re mo thuse ka this question. So ka bona e le botlhokwa gore ke direle video because e ka thusa le other learners out there that are facing the same problem as our friend. Now, on question number 6.1, it says that a company bought a photocopier for 150,000 on the 1st July 2022. They will use this, or they will use the old photocopier as a trade-in when they replace it with a similar new photocopier in 5 years' time on the 30th June 2027. Okay, so what I want us to highlight here is the numbers that are indicated. So we have 150,000, we have 5 years. So 27 minus 22 is 5, so therefore 5 years. But we also have the term trade-in. So now, if I want to analyze this, it means that already we know that the photocopy, the price, the value of P for the photocopier is 150,000, and that this trade-in will take place after 5 years, meaning that T is 5. So if we go to 6.1.1, they say that the average rate of inflation over the next 5 years will be 6.5% per annum. Determine the price of a similar new photocopier in 5 years' time. Okay. On 6.1, they want us to calculate the price of a similar new photocopier in 5 years' time. Now, before we go to question 6.1, there are things that I want to highlight that will help you in future to also know or to have the idea of what is happening, especially when you come across questions of this nature. Number one is that some questions, when they come, it will start with the one that we have, our K-Tutoring. You have the inflation. They say that the average rate of inflation, because of this term, inflation, the term inflation talks to us about the formula that we need to use. So sometimes the examiner will use the inflation first, and after asnoshimisha the inflation, he will go and use the term reducing balance. Meaning that if you go through previous papers, you'll notice that in most cases, either inflation and reducing balance or the reducing balance and inflation. So meaning that the examiner will play around these words. We'll start with the reducing balance instead. And if atomileka reducing balance, it means that the preceding question thereof, it will be about inflation. So the question T, one after the other. So, but if this happens, either inflation or reducing balance and inflation, if this happens, what's the worry? For this situation, the value of P for both inflation and the reducing balance is the same. If in this case, the price of the old photocopier is 150,000, it means that the value of P for reducing balance is 150,000, and the value of P for inflation is also 150,000. But now, this term inflation and the reducing balance, let me start with the reducing balance. A reducing balance, from its meaning, you reduce, meaning that when you reduce, the value of money is going to decrease. And if you inflate, it means that in means increase. It means that the value of money will increase. And decrease means that you are depreciating. A decrease means that you are depreciating. And increase, you are appreciating. So when the value of money depreciates, the formula is negative. And when the value of money is appreciating, our formula is positive. But because we are reducing balance and inflation, what are these two terms? The reducing balance and inflation, these two terms, these are somewhere. These are compound. These are compound interest. Now, this is the summary of inflation and reducing balance. But one other thing, especially the reducing balance. Reducing balance, sometimes they will ask you to calculate the book value. Again, the term book value, what will scrap. Sorry, not scrape. Scrap value. And if they don't use this term scrap value, they will use trade in. So these are the words that they can use. But all these three words, book value, scrap value, and trade in, they mean the same thing. What are they? Want you to calculate the value of A. Now, if it's about inflation, what robots are about new price. What robots are about new price. And if you want new price, it means that they want you to calculate the value of A. But original price, either inflation or reducing balance. If they say original, or initial, the value of P for both inflation and the reducing balance. So now, with this mind map, we can now go and work out question number 6.1, 6.2, before we can proceed to 6.1.1, 6.1.2, before we proceed to 6.1.3. So now, we are now on 6.1.1. Because they said they want the price of a similar new photocopier in 5 years. But what would you about the inflation? It means that our formula will be A is equals to P into 1 plus I to the power of N. Now, after this, we already know the price of the old photocopier, and it's 150,000. Then 1 plus the rate of inflation they mentioned, 6.5%. It means that this is the value of our R. And we should also remember that I in a formula R over 100 multiplied by M, and N leona in a formula or T multiplied by M. So if we are working in the same statement, the value of M must be the same. In the very same statement, M and M I and M N must be the same. So meaning that here we are going to put R here, give value that they give us, but now because it's R over 100, it's the same as R percent. So that more line 6.5 over 100. Already 6.5 over 100 is 6%, but we multiplied by M. How much is our M? Only per annum. It indicates that this happens per annum. In other words, it happens once in a year. So our M is going to be 1. But here is the number of years multiplied by the compoundment, the frequency in which the interest are charged per year. So here we've got 5 years multiplied by 1. Hence I said the value of M there, which is this one, must be the same as the value of M there, which is that one. So when you press this on a calculator, you'll get 205,512,999.5. But because we are calculating the value of money, it means that the value of A will be 205,513,0. So meaning that in this case, the new price of the new photocopier will be 205,513 rand. Okay, now let's go to 6.1.2. So here I said that if they start with inflation, the next question will be the reducing balance. So a reducing balance, we say that is the value that depreciate or is the decrease in the amount of money. Okay? But because we have used P as 150, it means that even here we're going to use P as 150. But now, if we read 612, it says calculate the trade-in. So here we mentioned that book value, scrap value, and the trade-in value, they are represented by the value of A. So here they want us to calculate the value of A, which is the trade-in. Calculate the trade-in value of the old photocopier after 5 years if it depreciates. So there is a decrease in the amount of money. So if the rate of depreciation is 9% per annum, so a new rate here, and therefore once we evaluate this new rate, now we are going to check which method are we going to use. We are going to use a straight line method. We're going to use a straight line method. Now, like a straight line method, it means that renale compound interest, like I mentioned earlier. Renale compound interest, renale also a simple interest. So when we go through our questions, the type of the interest that they used here. The type of the interest that was used here was not compound interest, especially on 612. It was not compound interest, but it was a simple interest. Reason why it is simple interest is because they said a straight line method. A straight line method is the same as simple interest. Is the same as the simple interest. So now let's check whether ka simple interest formula in Najwa. So we're saying that simple interest, we have the formula that says A is equals to P into, sorry, my computer is doing its own thing here. Okay, here we have got A equals to P into 1 plus or minus I multiplied by N close bracket. So this is the formula that we can have, simple interest. But we mentioned that if it's positive, it means that it appreciates. And if it's negative, it means that it's going to depreciate. So even now, we are going to have a formula which says that we have on 6.1.2, globally a formula that depreciates, which in this case is going to be A equals to P into 1 minus I multiplied by N. Because ke yone ya re botsa depreciation. 6.1.2, which is A is equals to P into 1 minus I multiplied by N. And therefore, the value of P, we agreed that is still 150,000. 1 minus the interest rate, in this case, they said is 9%, multiplied by 1. Sorry, not close bracket. But we have this. Then you multiply it by N again. And then in this case, it means that our N is going to be 5 multiplied by 1. And when you press this on a calculator, it says that you have 150,000 multiplied by 1 minus 9 over 100 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 1. Close bracket, enter. So it means that the depreciated amount of the old photocopier will be 82,500. So that photocopier, which was bought at 150, after 5 years, got the decrease or the depreciating rate of 9% per annum, it will be 82,500. Now, this is our 6.1.2. Now we have 6.1.3. On 6.1.3, they say that the company set up a sinking fund. Key thing is a sinking fund. Okay, let me take this paper, give la fasinyana leona, or iskara tshwenya because more fitile. Okay, so now here we have we have 6.1.3. I just want it to be clear. Now on 6.1.3, it says that the company set up a sinking fund to cover the replacement cost of the new photocopier. The fund earns interest at the rate of 7.85% per annum compounded monthly. Now, if you check, this is a very long statement. but I want to break it down to simple. We have the term sinking fund. Okay? Sinking fund. What's the worry? A sinking fund is equals to inflation minus reducing balance. Okay? But in this case, our reducing balance was used on a simple interest. So it means that our sinking fund is going to be 205, 512 or 513 minus 82, 500. And when we press this on a calculator, we will get 205,513 minus 82,500. Oh, man. Ah,